Good morning, traders. The Vic here with your Tuesday outlook and setups. Let's jump right into it. We'll be looking at pound dollar, US dollar, and hopefully some GJ and Aussie dollar as well, if time permits. We'll be looking starting with pound dollar, and yes, let's have a look at it. As I've mentioned in the weekly outlook and setup, so make sure to watch that if you haven't yet. We'll just be building up on that. We'll be looking to see longs this week. As I said, we started over. You can see the gap open over there on the floor, but I said that we would potentially be looking for a pullback and then a continuation long towards the upside. That's why we took the longs yesterday up into this area. So now today, I'm looking for the longs, but also cautious of a few things, and I'll tell you why now. First, why am I cautious for longs still yet? It's because you can see this is our leg towards the downside, and we already tapped up into 50%. So technically, from a balance point of view, we only need to reach the 50% to get balanced. So we could see price continuing down again. But if the momentum is strong and we can see strong bullish order flow, we will see price continue up higher to the higher time frame targets up here, 36700 and so on. So I am bullish, but I am aware that sales could also occur because of where we are on this leg towards the downside. If we see a shift in structure towards the downside, we could see the sales happening. So let's just look at it on a 1 hour time frame. This is the most recent leg towards the upside. As pointed out, we have this low and this high. That's our most recent leg towards the upside, and I'm just looking for where is the potential liquidity areas. And all these areas are marked out. They are found on the 50-minute. So if we jump to the 50-minute, you can see we have then this I marked out last night. You can still see it's valid. All of this liquidity being built up in this area. We have this order block at the 50% and the one below it imbalance there as well. So either one of these really do look good for me. So a push down, continuation up, or a push lower and a continuation up. So in this case, if you do risk entries, which might be the case in this instance, you might take a risk entry in here and get stopped out, but just look for another entry in this area. Perhaps you'll see a confirmation entry at the lower one. But if you wait for confirmation entries, absolutely just do that and wait for a confirmation entry before taking the trade in a long direction. So that's definitely the view that I have on GU, and it's currently looking good, setting up nicely. I'm not seeing any signs for sells actually, because there's no real. If you look at it, the market looks prone to go higher, and the order flow is bullish. For sells, we would need to see a clean structure break, leaving a strong imbalance, a strong supply zone, and then see price correcting back towards that area, and then getting the confirmation for sells. So that would be something that I would be looking for when I'm looking for sells on the 1 minute, perhaps. But currently, still looking for longs on GU. So let's jump quickly to EU. It might look a bit messy, but I've just been plotting the order flow last night, my journals. So just quickly following it, we had this sweep below, we broke structure towards the upside, we accumulated, we retested this lower time frame order block over here, and then we start pushing back towards the upside. So currently the order flow does look bullish to me, and I will be looking for longs as well. I marked out this area on the lower time frames for longs, and we'll see now on the 15-minute. What was the 5 minutes? I'm not exactly sure, but let's take it away. We can see that this is the most recent leg towards the upside. Broke structure. We have our low, we have our high, and we broke structure over here. So this is the most recent level that we could be looking at for retracements into it. So it looks like we've already filled the imbalance over there perfectly and reacted towards the upside. I'll still be looking for price to go a bit lower actually towards this 5-minute order block. So that is still an area that I would want to see price go to, because now this tap into imbalance has created a liquidity low. So there we have now liquidity low. Let me just remove that one. So there's now liquidity below this low. So I do think then possibly price coming down into this area, give us a reaction, then moving up. Because look at all of this liquidity that we have over here, all of this trend line liquidity. You can just make it like this. All of this liquidity above, and then obviously this high as well, which is the most significant liquidity spot up there as well. So that is then the view that I have on euro dollar. Let's quickly jump to Aussie dollar as well. So let's just start from a higher time frame view. This was the area that I was looking for price to reach deeper into the 73445, but then we start with a deeper pullback, and we can clearly see why. Because if we look at this push towards the downside, and we mark this out as our swing high and our swing low, we can see price pull back into the 50%, and we filled the imbalance that's just above this wick, or at that wick in this area. You can see we fill all of the imbalance in there, and then we start moving down. So potentially I do think that we could see lower pricing on Aussie dollar. If we look at the 1 hour, we can see some clean, strong impulsive moves towards the downside, but there's no real order blocks or areas that I think that we could base a trade off just yet. Potentially we also haven't yet broken any structure. Maybe on the 15 minutes we could see some cleaner and clearer price action as to where we could retrace to and then take a short from. But I do think potentially sells today. We just have to make sure that we get in at a Aussie dollar is leaving me hanging out. Okay, so here we have the 50-minute. Even still, I'm not seeing anything clear. I think I'm probably just so used to pound dollars movement that it just makes so much more sense to me. But just nothing's not seeing anything yet. It's interesting to see how it reacts off of the imbalance. You can see there, pushes up into the imbalance, reacts off of it, break structure again. So this is our most recent structure break. Most recent structure break towards the downside. So potentially a pullback, and we can see that we have some more imbalance in there as well. Over there. So potentially a pullback in there and then continuation lower. But as I said, I'm not a very big fan of Aussie dollar lately, so I'm not going to be paying too much attention to it. I'm going to skip GJ and I'm going to look at gold next because I know a lot of you have asked for it. I'm going to start by looking at the daily. I'm going to note and point this out to you, this sweep that we have over here. And usually after this sweep, you'll see a structure break. So on whatever time frame it happened, you want to look for that structure break. And here we can see the structure break happened over there. And then obviously we'll be looking for the pullback and then a continuation towards the upside. But we're not always sure where that price will stop and then do pullback. So in this case, price could potentially move all the way up towards this area. I'll show you now on the lower time frames, and then start making a descent as a for retracement. So in this case, I am bullish and bearish. It depends on where price reacts off of. Let's just jump straight to let's go to the 4 hour. This is the forward zone that I've been pointing out. Imbalance, strong push out. It's not a full body candle, but it's more about 50% off the candle. And then on the left, we have this wick, and on the 50-minute, it's the zone, I think. So just refine it down to the 50-minute. Then looking at the current price action over here. So we have our sweep, created a low. We start pushing towards the upside. As soon as we see 3 candles pushing down, we can potentially see price giving us a reversal. So currently we have this low and we have this high, and we can see that this area is at the 50%. So we would be wanting to trade price to that area where we then would be looking for longs. But there's all a few areas in this zone where price could react off. We have this one there as well. We have strong imbalance there as well. Guys, I'm almost done. Then we can see potentially we've created some trend line liquidity there as well. But then on the lower time frames, let's have a look quickly here. 1 hour. Price is still rather bullish. We'll need to see a clean sweep with intent of moving down with a pullback before going short. Because for now, we're still moving towards the upside. So technically, I'd still be looking for longs. In this area, we could see this is the most recent leg towards the upside. There is our imbalance and potentially an order block on the lower time frames in this area where price could then react off and still go higher. So we're still going higher until proven otherwise, because we still have this area, which is, if I can just quickly show it to you if it loads, just this one candle that I marked out, even though we did test it already. I just marked it out as a area of interest the price could potentially be reaching for. But it's currently very overextended, so I would expect price to make a pullback. Just when and where is the question. I'm not sure really about. So I have the targets that I'm looking for when we go down, but when we go down, that is the question still. Right, so that's it for me this morning. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found some value. I'm doing this very early, so you can have time to watch it, prepare, get your charts in order, and then get ready for New York session. Sorry, London session and New York session on the Tuesday. Have a great one, guys. Enjoy it. Bye.